Start passing out some certificates. I say that because some of you are going to have plates. We're going to need the tables. We do not have enough, unfortunately, for every single person. So what we'll do, we'll give y'all ample time to be able to take turns and switch around with the suture. So probably about 3, maybe 4 people can split one. So once you go through, after we show the video and stuff, and you do the suture real quick, and you give it to somebody else and let them practice. Please do not start opening it and taking the tools out yet until we start briefing. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Sergeant Moody. This is Sergeant Gobel, and this is First Sergeant Johnson. We are representatives from the Army Medical Department. What we do pretty much is we recruit healthcare professionals for the Army because service members need providers and healthcare as well. So that's what we do. We are located in Culver City, and we cover most of the Los Angeles area. We do have 5 other offices that cover the outlying area and 1 in San Diego as well as Hawaii. So you all received a pamphlet that talks a little bit about the scholarships, and that's what we're going to cover. I won't waste a lot of your time, so we can go ahead and get into the sutures, okay? So these are a few of our medical facilities that we have. These are our largest ones. We do have either a small clinic or a major hospital at every Army installation, and Army installations are pretty much all across the world. Next slide. Average debt of med school historically. Next slide. I mean, you guys know how expensive this stuff is, so I won't beat this up. This is pretty much what the HPSP covers. So 100% tuition paid to any accredited professional school in the United States or Puerto Rico. And I put some emphasis on that because I know some of the briefers have mentioned the Caribbean schools. We do not include Caribbean schools, so U.S. and Puerto Rico. Once you sign up for the bonus or for the scholarship program, if you get accepted, you get a $20,000 bonus and a stipend of around $2,800 every academic month. And then also up to 45 days per academic year for excess training. So if you wanted to attend like a medical conference over the summer, that would be covered as well. Go ahead. So this is our basic minimum eligibility criteria. Now, look into this a little bit because I know the briefers have talked about the averages across the board for the MCATs, and that's pretty much where our minimum criteria meets. So that doesn't mean that, you know, if you meet the minimum criteria, you're automatically accepted. That's just what our minimums are around the average. So you obviously, to be competitive for the scholarship, you want to be well above each one of these categories. Now it does show the DAT scores as well because we do offer HPSP programs in medical, dental, and veterinarian, as well as some psychology. Go ahead. So roughly each year we award around 300 to 400 scholarships for med school and around 95 for dental school. That's pretty much it. Oh, apply early. So the application process, I would recommend starting your application process around the same time that you're going to start your application for med school. So once your MCAT is complete and you're going to start your med school process application, go ahead and get in touch with us and make sure you meet that minimum criteria as well. Next slide. Yep, we pretty much took care of that. That's it. All right, any questions over that? Yep, we did. Go ahead.
Is there a difference between being in the U.S. Army, Navy, and Air Force?
There is. So as far as the basic criteria, all the branches are pretty much the same because we're all governed by the DoD. So you would have to get in touch with the recruiters from each branch because we have our own little nuances for each one. Just the gist of it, the Army is the largest branch, so when it comes to just the opportunities in general, there's going to be more slots for the bigger branches.
Also, one of the biggest differences is, like he said, we're bigger and we're better. But also, yeah, we have more GME slots, more residency slots. I've been doing this job. I've been a healthcare recruiter for 8 years. Put a lot of students in this scholarship from this very school. And I can tell you a big difference, you know, like the scholarship is the same, but it's what happens after you graduate medical school. The other 2 branches, the Air Force and the Navy, they make you do what's called a GMO tour, which is a general medical officer. Some students like that, but some students don't, because what that equates to is once you graduate, you don't start your residency. You go and you work as basically like under your MD license, working in like a sick bay or something like that. The Army doesn't require you to do that. We would rather you go and start your residency. Some students don't like that because you're behind your peers. So some of your peers that you graduate med school with, they're maybe 1 or 2 years deep in a residency. You ain't even started. But again, some students like that. But we don't believe in that. We don't think that's very being good stewards of your time. We want you to go ahead and start so you can start working and being all you can be in the Army.
Go ahead.
For residency, are there specific medical institutes you have to choose from, or can you go anywhere for residency?
So you'll match with the military residency first. So, and we have a 100% match rate. So match preference is usually around 95%, but everyone's going to match. So you will go to an Army institution. So you will serve at one of our facilities or clinics all across the world. So, so just real quick, just an overview of the program. So if you apply and get accepted, you will be commissioned in the Army as an Army officer, as a second lieutenant. You will receive your $20,000 bonus. That's what it is right now. There are talks of an increase across all branches. Again, that falls under DoD congressional approval. So you will begin med school, go through med school as a second lieutenant. Once you graduate med school, you'll be promoted to the rank of captain. You'll do your residency match, and then you'll be assigned to wherever you're doing your residency. Once residency is complete, that's when your service obligation time will start. Your service obligation time is equivalent to the longer period of either med school or your residency. So if your med school is 5 years or 4 years and your residency is 4 years, you're only serving back 4 years to the Army. If your med school is 4 years and your residency is 5 years, then you go 5 years. So the longer of the two, if that makes sense. Did I miss anything?
She had a question too.
Question over here? Yes.
I was just wondering if there's like a limitation of like specialties we can go into?
No.
No. So, and that's another thing, just like what he was speaking on, with the Army being the largest branch and having more medical facilities, we have pretty much every specialty that you can think of.
So that's a great question, and that's another difference between us and them, because we're better. All right, I'm gonna keep saying that because we are. So if say you match, I don't know, general surgery or neuroscience or whatever, and we don't have a slot for that, we will send you to a civilian equivalent of that residency. Same thing with the other branches, except the other branches will not pay you. You'll be getting paid what those residents are getting paid. For us, you're going to get paid by the Army. We're going to pay you your salary, housing allowance, all the active duty benefits that you would get if you were doing Army residency. You're going to get that. Again, a lot of people like that, which is what we do to kind of distinguish ourselves from our sister services. And not to crack on them, I mean, I have 2 children that are in the Air Force, so I'm not anti-Air Force. However, I have been in the Army Medical Department pretty much my entire career, and I know that we're better because I've worked in some of the hospitals with physicians from the other branches. And because background for me, I was a surgical tech for 11, 12 years. So I've worked in the OR, and we work with other branches, doctors that will come to the OR, and the Air Force and the Navy docs are always grumpy. Our docs are always happy, so, because we're better. Does that answer your question?
Absolutely. So the Army's going to invest a substantial amount of money in sending you to med school, bonuses, paying you during residency. So whatever your specialty is, that's what you will practice. So the only difference between what you'll do with us versus the civilian sector is if you choose to wear scrubs that have our pattern on it. I mean, a lot of them just wear blue or white or whatever. I mean, that's really the only difference. So you'll be working in a military facility versus a civilian hospital.
Just to clarify, so like during service, so like when you're serving 4 years, would we be like practicing medicine?
Yes, in your specialty.
You will be working in a hospital, assigned to a hospital, on whichever installation you get chosen to be in. That's what you're doing. You're going to be a doctor. You're going to be respected as a doctor, as you should be. No difference. You're not going to be out in the field putting on face paint and doing all that stuff.
Unless you want to do that.
Unless you want to, yeah.
That's your thing.
So you
We'll
will have
support it.
opportunities. A lot of people come in, they're like, hey, you know, I love practicing as a doctor and taking care of service members, but I want the Army experience too. So I want to go jump out of planes and, you know, I want to rappel from helicopters and do that. You'll have that opportunity if you want. There was one question. Go ahead.
What's the training like from before as things were enlisted before medical school and also during medical school?
So just to clarify, enlisting is something separate. That's like privates, sergeants, people straight out of high school. So you'll be commissioned as an officer. Did you want to talk about the training pathway?
Yeah, so during medical school, we're not going to really bother you because that comes first. We don't want to interfere or preclude you from finishing that because we're paying for it and we don't want to waste our money, all right? Because we want you to be on the team because we're better. However, during the first year of medical school, your first summer break is when you'll go to basic officer leadership course, AKA BOLIC. It is down in Fort Sam, Houston. You will stay in a hotel. You will go to a class sort of like this, and they'll have classes on the screen like this, and they will be teaching you how to be an Army officer because you don't know anything about it. They'll be teaching you the difference between an enlisted person and a commissioned person. They'll be teaching you how the Army hospital works, the jurisdictions that they fall under, which is pretty much the same. It's civilian hospitals, but that. You also attend the direct commission course, which is in Fort Sill, Oklahoma, and this will happen in a small period of time. I'm not going to take your whole summer break, where they teach you some other basic Army stuff. But it's not basic training. There's no drill sergeants yelling at you. You're not crawling through the dirt. None of that stuff you see on TV, that's not happening to you. We don't need you to do that. And then during your second summer break, you don't do anything because you're studying for your step test. We need you to represent and pass that step test. Your third and your fourth year, you will do Army rotation at a hospital. And that's going to be something that you're going to choose based off what you're trying to match into. So one of the reasons why we boast our match rate, because during that third and fourth year, when you're doing your rotation at the hospital or specialty that you're going to be matching into, those are the people that are going to be saying, yes, you can come here and do this residency. So they already know you. So a lot of times when you're applying through the system, and our system is almost exactly the same as the civilian system. I think it's the NRMT or something like that. Ours is the same way. However, it's already fixed because they kind of already know you. And as long as you go there and you do well, then you're going to match. Now, if you go there and you don't do well and you don't match, that's on you because you're not better. But that's kind of the way that works. But pretty much during school, you're not required to do anything. If you want to dye your hair, you want to grow a beard, do whatever you want, you know. But when you come on, then, you know, we got a little restrictions with that. But pretty much we don't bother you. We want you to get good grades and match.
So there's no basic training at all?
Absolutely not. No. No. That's for enlisted folk.
You'll be too good for that.
Hey. Wow. We did it.
So any other questions?
You had a question?
Oh yeah, I was just wondering, you said, so after, that's a little bit residency, you have to serve 4 years, and will those 4 years be just, the US or other places?
So the way that works, when you become an officer in the United States Army, you're going to have what we call a branch manager or a career manager. And that person's job is to, kind of like matching, like they want to put you in the best fit. So what will happen is when you're getting close to the end of your residency, they will reach out to you and send you an email and say, hey, these are all the slots for your specialty that we have available. And then you'll just put them in numerical order of preference. And they'll say, okay, based on where you fall among your peers, this is where you're going to land on your preference. And yeah, you could serve, we have, you know, huge bases. We have Korea, Germany, Alaska. I mean, we have bases literally across the world, Hawaii, like in a rotation around the globe. So yeah, you'll have preference. And when you start the application, you actually fill out a form on your HPSP application for preferences for your duty assignment. And it'll list them specifically, so overseas and in the continental US. And you can put your overseas preferences of where you want to go and in the States. So, any other questions? All right, go ahead.
So you said like longer between, like you basically, the time period that you have to serve is basically the longest between the residency and the med school.
Correct, yeah, and the reason it's like that too is because we also offer 2- and 3-year HPSP scholarships. So if you're already a med student who didn't hear about this program, you'll still have opportunity to to apply for it. And if you do that and then you do a 5-year residency, you get paid as an active duty captain all throughout residency. So you still owe that time back as well, if that makes sense.
So even if you get in, like, so there are options of getting in after getting into med school.
Yes. It just covers less of you'll still owe more money back. If that makes sense. Anything else?
Oh, and just so you guys understand too, this is not like an automatic thing. You apply and you automatically get it. It is a competition. So we look at your MCAT score. We look at your letters of recommendation that you need for medical school. You have to do a personal statement of why you want to be an Army medical officer. We look at your GPA. We look at everything. So it's not like, hey, I'm just going to get it. They only give out roughly about 260, 70 something scholarships per year nationwide. So it's not an automatic thing. It is kind of competitive. They do look at everything. So when you do apply for this, if you choose to apply for it, you do have to, put your best foot forward because we pride ourselves on Army medicine. We say we're the best healthcare organization in the world, and that's because we hire the best and have the best healthcare providers in the world, and we intend to stick by that. So, hey, we're a great team and we're better. So, looking forward to possibly working with you guys, but we'll get into the sutures.
Dr. Long, we can get you into if you have a 2 months.
Hey, once we're done with the sutures, if you did not get a water bottle or a pamphlet, we have a few extras, so please come down and get them. If you are interested in just speaking with a recruiter to get more information on the program, have like a one-on-one, come let us know. We'll have a link for you to fill out so we get the email. And everyone has my card in here as well, so feel free to shoot me a text, email, or call if you want to talk about it. All right. Pretty much it. I don't think we need this.
You want to introduce the instruments and then just let me know when to start it.
Hey, so really quick safety brief, right? This is what we do in the military. We do safety briefs. So that needle that's in that packet, it is sharp. It will cut you. So please, if you are not holding or using the needle, please secure it. Put it down, preferably not face up. Like take it out of the needle holder and drop it on the plate or the desk so you don't stick yourself, because we don't want anyone to get stuck. All right? So you guys have pads. The pads should already have a slit on them, yes? All right, good. So you don't need a scalpel. The scalpel is if you have to make a cut. If you have to make a cut, raise your hand and I'll come around and I'll help you do that. Again, we don't want anyone to get cut or stick themselves because we don't want you to do that, all right? So everybody should have a needle holder. If you're right-handed, you hold it in your right hand. You're left-handed, you hold it in your left hand. Everybody's tracking? So the needle holder should open and close. Make sure it does. If it doesn't, we need to switch it out. You should hear it click. You hear that click? Go ahead and click. Make sure it click, because if it don't click, it's not going to work out. So is everyone's clicking? Yeah. All right. So the next thing you should have is what we call forceps. So you want to hold the forceps like this. Don't hold it like this, because it's not going to work out. You're going to hold it like a pencil, right? And that's for control. Your forceps should have some little teeth in it. Does everyone's forceps have teeth? The teeth are used to grip. There are different types of forceps. They have forceps without teeth, but for today, you're going to use the forceps with the teeth. Do not stick your hand in there, because that teeth will bite you and it will cut you. And we don't want you to get hurt. Does everybody understand? All right. Also, you should have what we call, these are actually called suture scissors. They look like regular scissors that you can buy from Dollar Tree or Walmart, but these are actually suture scissors, and they're very expensive. They're probably the same thing you can get from those stores, but because they're medical grade, they cost about $300 or $400 more. So yeah, real talk. So that's something maybe you can look into if this doesn't work out. You can sell stuff like this for triple the price. All right, so your suture scissors are used to cut your suture, and you will understand that when we get to it. Please don't stick your hand or finger in the suture scissors, because it will cut you, as it is designed to do. Does everybody understand? All right. Now, what else we got? That's it, right? Yeah. So if you have not already, which some of you did, and I saw you, and it's okay, go ahead and open up your suture packet. But do not take that suture out with your hand. You're going to use your needle holder to take that out of the packet. So moving forward, when it comes to this suture or the needle in there, you'll open the little white packet too, and you'll expose the needle. Always hold and touch that needle with your needle holder. Do not use your hand, because you will stick yourself. Like I said, I was an OR tech for 12 years, and I see it all the time. And especially, it'll be people like you guys are going to be, residents that'll come in my OR, and I'll tell them like, hey, sir, ma'am, don't touch that needle with your hand, and they'll do it anyway. And then they got to go down to the ER, and they got to get tested for HIV and all this other stuff, because it typically has blood on it at that point. So moving forward, that needle is always going to be handled by this thing right here. Now, you guys see how I'm holding this? I have 2, 3, 4 points of contact on it. If you hold it like this, it's not going to work out. You got to hold it like this to control it, more or less with this towards the head. And you're going to see why on the video that's going to play. If you hold it any other kind of way, I promise you it's not going to work out. So if you hold it like this, you're able to control it. You see these motions that I'm doing right here with my hand? This is what you're about to do as you're swooping the needle. You see those needles are at a curve? They're a curve because it's allowing you to go through the skin, all right, and grab it and come through. Again, do not touch that needle without this. We're going to be walking around, and if I see you doing it, I'm going to yell at you like a drill sergeant. And everyone's going to hear. No, I'm not going to do that to you. But anyway, we're going to play the video, and as the video plays, we are going to walk around and help facilitate. All right? Only thing we're going to do today is like maybe one technique. There's no right or wrong. Have fun. Take pictures. Put it in your Instagram. Tag us on your Instagram, because we like that. Tag the Army on your Instagram, because we like that, and we're better. And we like to show that we're better. So we're about to play the video. Oh, also too, that the actual suture is very fragile, because these are cheap sutures because they're used for training. So if it breaks, we have plenty more, and it will break. Don't feel bad. Don't freak out. We got plenty more, but it will break. If it does and it breaks while you're tying it, you're going to have to retie it, but we'll help you out. So is everybody ready? All right. Here you go. No, that's fine.
Interrupted suture pattern.
You can go sit down.
This is one of the most common suture patterns that you will perform in this course and in life. And so it's very versatile, very well versed to be used in various tissues, and a very common suture pattern to perform, as mentioned. I'm right-handed, and so I have my needle properly applied in the needle holders. Needle holders are put just beyond or toward the swag on end from the middle of the needle, and the needle is at the end of the needle holders. And the needle holders are clamped and secured in position. I have the rat tooth thumb forceps in my left hand. I'm going to grasp the skin portion of the daisy here on the near side. The near side
Hey, pause it real quick.
side that is.
Oh, man. Hey, that is not the music we chose. That's like some other music. Anyway, what he didn't point out or whatever, so your needle, you see how it's like, it's curved, right? When you are placing it in your needle holder, you want to place it in the middle. So don't, like when you're clamping on it, you want to have the tip of it pointed up, but you want to grab the middle of it. You don't want to grab the end, you want to grab the middle. If you grab the end, you're going to have problems. So put it in the middle and put it as close to the tip of the needle holder as possible. Yeah, she got it right. Yeah, she can follow instructions. All right, you can. It's not playing. You good? You feel comfortable? Okay. All right. Oh, also too, the pointed section should be facing away from the needle. So if I'm holding it like this, my tip of the needle would be facing this way up. If that makes sense. Let me see what you got, because you're looking at me like, what is he talking about? Yeah, so the tail portion should be on your right side.
I'm left-handed, so is it supposed
So it didn't be on your left side, or something like that. No, so let me see. Let me see. So you want it. But in your case, because you're left-handed, let's go like that.
The simple interrupted
Because
suture
you're
pattern.
left-handed, right?
This is one of the
You can
most
keep that one.
common suture patterns
So
that
that's
you
how you
will
always
perform
want to have it like
in
that.
this course and in life. And so it's very versatile, very well versed to be used in various tissues and a very common
Yeah, it's perfect.
suture pattern.
Now take your forceps and hold it like a
I'm
pencil.
right-handed, and so I
Yeah, there you
have
go.
my needle properly
Yeah.
applied
Pencil.
in the needle
For the
holders. Needle
forceps,
holders
pencil.
are put
No,
just
like a pencil.
beyond or toward the swagged on end from the
Let me
middle
see,
of the
let me see.
needle, and the needle
Let me
is at
see.
the end of the needle holders.
it'll be
And the
like
needle holders
this.
are clamped and secured in position. I have
Oh, wow.
the
Where you from?
gratitude thumb forceps
That's
in
why.
my left hand. I'm going to grasp the skin portion of the daisy here on the
Bring it
near
more
side. The
towards
near
the
side
tip of the needle.
is the side that
Yeah.
is nearer to the surgeon's dominant hand. In this case, it's the right side of the incision. And notice that I have the daisy oriented longitudinally here, but obviously this suture pattern can be done very nicely with the daisy oriented 90 degrees to this axis as well. I'm first going to put the needle in. I'm going to be about 5 to 8 millimeters beyond the skin edge here. I'm going to go through the skin portion of the daisy. Now, you could go directly across, but you can see I'm running out of room. And so I'm going to encircle the needle with my thumb forceps. I'm going to grasp the needle again, clamp. Now I'm ready to put my suture through the far side of the incision. Grasp by encircling, and then I'm ready to pull the needle out for the second bite of my.
It's pretty cool, right? Yeah. Use the forceps to pull it through.
I'm going to grasp that needle, and now I'm going to gather my suture. And those various gathering techniques that you can use. And you want to leave yourself a fair amount of suture with which to complete your knot for this simple interrupted suture pattern. Now the daisy tends to have some tension, and so a simple square knot oftentimes does not suffice. And so I'm going to do a surgeon's throw.
Take it. Hold your forceps like a pencil.
And you can even see here that there's still tension there, followed by a simple throw.
Oh, he did that pretty fast, huh?
Constructing a surgeon's knot.
Hey, can you rewind it a little bit?
Now you could then put additional throws on top of your surgeon's knot. So this would be a surgeon's knot followed by 2 additional throws. And once I've cut these ends, I've constructed the simple interrupted suture tied with a surgeon's knot and 2 additional throws.
They want to see it again.
I don't know why when I go out of it, it shows it here, but it's not showing it there, because right here I can control where it's at.
Oh, really? Maybe it's, that's weird.
Yeah, like this isn't showing on the screen.
It might be easier for him to bring his camera down here and then I could just run it through.
It's like when it's out of like the slideshow mode, I can manipulate it.
But it just won't show up there.
Yeah.
That's weird.
like that, it starts back over.
See if you can take it out of slideshow mode and then share your screen. If you can. I ain't letting you do that.
I think it might be on like a this way.
Yeah, it might be. We'll just play it one more time, the video.
Why do they keep laughing at the music?
Like, you know. You about to get freaky or something. That's what they laugh.
Yes, man. We don't like these things running over. Will we still be able to finish yours off around 1:30?
Oh,
Yeah. We're just doing this one little thing. We just want them to have fun and touch the tools. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Hey, we're gonna run the video again too, because it went really fast. So again, apologize for the music. We didn't pick it. And if you want me to come around and help you out, I can do that too. Oh, that's good right there. Hey, best one in the house right here. It's her. She did it the best.
The simple interrupted suture pattern.
Yeah, you got the thing right there.
Let me get a picture if you don't mind of the best one in there.
In this course.
Just
and
hold the
in
phone.
life. And so it's very
Sit down.
versatile, very well versed to be used.
Did you do it yet?
Various tissues and a very common suture pattern to perform as mentioned. I'm right-handed, and so I have my needle properly applied in the needle holders. Needle holders
You
are
got it in between?
put just beyond or
Yeah,
towards
so
the
what you want to
square
do,
from
make
the
that
middle of
tail
the needle,
shorter.
and the needle is at the end
Yep.
of the needle holders. And the needle holders
So the shorter your tail, the easier it is to tie it.
I have the gratitude thumb forceps in my left
About
hand.
right there.
I'm going to grasp the skin
So I'm
portion
gonna show
of the
you what he
daisy
did.
here on the near side. The near side is the side that is nearer to
want that to
the
fall.
dominant hand. In this case,
Let me
it's the
show you
right
what he
side of
did.
the incision.
Hold on, let me
Notice
show
that I
you.
have the daisy
I know you
oriented
like wrap it around.
longitudinally.
Yeah. So
Obviously, this suture pattern can be done very nicely.
this thing right here, actually, we call these the bunny ears, right? Because it kind of looks like bunny ears. So,
Put the needle in. I'm going to be about
so at this point, our needle's over there, so I know that, right? When we get ready to do it, you're gonna wrap it around once, wrap it around twice, open the mouth, grab that, click it. This comes towards me, this hand goes away. Boom, just like that. So you can do it a couple times, get comfortable with it. But just like that. Second best right here. She had help though. What you got over here?
I'm ready to pull the needle out.
Hey, that's not bad. Okay, so I'll show you. Hold on.
Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to grasp that needle, and I'm going to gather my suture.
So let me show you.
Techniques that you can use. And you want to leave yourself
I'll show you, let me show
a fair amount of suture
So-
with which to complete.
Whenever you're doing this, right?
Simple interrupted
Whenever you're doing this, you want your tails. This is your tail. You always want that to be short, not all the way, because it'll pull through.
So I'm going to do a
All right, so
surgeon's
then
throw.
you're gonna make sure, put a little bit more. Your needle, you always want to know where that is, right? So then you take this one, wrap it around once, wrap it around twice, open the mouth, grab the tail, click it. So this hand goes towards him, this hand comes towards me. And then you're going to do that a few times to make sure that it's secure. Yeah, because so what I didn't go over was, this is a nylon suture. So this kind of suture will have to come out. So if you're putting this in a patient, which you will, they got to come back and got to take this out because it's not absorbable. All right? And there's different reasons why. But because it's nylon, you see how flimsy it is? If you don't put a few knots in there, as soon as your patient leave and they move their head, that shit's going to come loose. And then they're going to come back. And then they're going to get you for your malpractice insurance. So for those that are tying the knots, they got that. Something I didn't point out. This suture is called a nylon suture, and it's black. So, nylon suture, it's not absorbable, so that has to come out. And it's also very rigid. You see how rigid it is? So, when you are tying these in a knot, you got to make sure you put a couple knots, because if you only put one or two, say you were doing this to like an actual patient in the ER, busted their head, whatever. If you don't put enough knots in there, because of that suture is so rigid and smooth, as soon as they get to moving, doing ADLs, it's gonna come loose. And whatever you just did in the ER is worthless, because that wound's gonna open back up, they're gonna get infected, and then they're gonna come for your malpractice insurance, because you didn't do right. So nylon suture, you gotta put a few knots and you gotta make sure that it's good. And it's not absorbable. So what that means is you put it in there, it's gotta come out when it heals. So another thing, when you use a nylon, you don't wanna when you cut it, you don't wanna make it too close, and you don't want it to get buried under the skin, because if the patient has to come back and you gotta take it out, you don't wanna have to open the skin to get it out. Just a little tidbit. So this suture is very rigid and it's very smooth. So you would only use this in certain instances. But yeah, for those that are tying. So who's tied it so far? Oh, you got your hand up? Okay. Hey, don't feel bad about, I don't know how to do this tie, because it takes a while. It's an acquired skill. Yeah. That's surgeon, not that's them feeling good about themselves. Let's see. Hold that for me. So you can drop that down, or the needle.
Oh, needle.
Yeah. Let me show you real quick. I'll show you. So that's okay. So you always want to know where your needle is, right? So we know it's right there, because I don't never want to get stuck. And when you become a physician, you're always going to be cognizant of that, because you don't know what these people have. So anytime you start using this cuts you, you are exposed. And you don't want that. So when you're getting ready to tie your knot, we call this the tail. You always want it to be not too short, obviously, because it'll pull through. But you don't want it long, because if it's too long, then when you get ready to throw it, it's going to get stuck. So once you know where your needle is, right, this point of contact is going to be on the other side, and this is your tail. So we call these the rabbit ears. That's what we call it in the OR. So you're going to take this one, close it, wrap it around once, wrap it around twice.
You wrap once, because the other one.
Let's see. 1, 2. There we go. Open the mouth. You grab it, click it, right? This comes towards me. This comes towards you. Straight like that. Boom. Got it? It's too easy, right?
But then you cannot continue to do that for the rest. It's just
Now, well, you can, but for right now, they just want you to get comfortable with throwing it and tying it.
So
This is a simple. It's very basic.
If it was a continuous, you would just go down.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
really simple. True.
Yeah, it is. Good job, though. Good job.
So what you just did right there, when you get ready to do your knot and your throw.
Now, once you guys have a few knots in there, let me know, because then we'll cut it. Because that's the whole process, too.
Can you play the video again?
Hey, Sir Moody, they want to play the video one more time if you can. They like it.
I undid my knot. Because I wanted to carry it.
Yeah. Can I get by you guys? I'm sorry. They want to help. Oh, I'm sorry.
So the way we're understanding.
A simple interrupted suture pattern.
Sorry.
This is one of the most common suture patterns.
It's like, I think it's like.
Performed
So yeah, but hold on.
in life.
Pull this that way a little bit more. A little bit more. Oh, right there. So you always want to have about an inch. Anything longer than that, it's going to be hard for you when you get ready to tie it, because it'll be too long. So now, don't pull it anymore. You can take that up and then close that, click it, and use this hand to hold that. and you're gonna take it and you're gonna wrap it. Yep. Be careful not to pull that. Yep. Now open the mouth of the thing, but you got to keep your hand on it though.
I'm going to grasp the
Yeah,
skin
1,
portion
2.
of the
Yep. Now open the mouth.
on the near side. The near side is the side that
There you go.
is nearer to
Well,
the surgeon's
so let me
side.
show you.
It's the right side of the skin.
Let me show you.
And notice that I
Let
have
me show you an easier way.
the
So
longitudinally here.
don't put it so down.
But obviously this suture pattern can be done very nicely.
Put it up
with
here,
easy oriented
and then you're gonna go 1,
to this axis as well.
2,
I'm first going to
2.
put the
You open the
needle
mouth,
and I'm going
you
to be
grab
about,
it.
5 to
This
8
hand goes
millimeters,
away. This hand comes to you.
beyond the skin edge here. I'm going to go
See,
through
that's
the
why I
skin
don't need to be
portion
too long. See what happened?
Now,
But
you could
straight like that.
directly across, but
So
you can see
you
I'm running out of
grab the
room,
other
so I'm
side,
gonna grasp
you pull that one away.
circle
Yep,
the
so you're
needle
going like that.
with my
Now,
thumb
when you're
forceps.
doing that, you want to
Grasp
make
the
sure
needle
that you
again.
go down on it at some
Now I'm
sort of
ready to put my suture
symmetry. Don't go any kind of way with it. Otherwise, because then your knot will be
incision.
kind of twisted, and you don't want that.
How did you open it when it's like here?
And
Click
then
it.
I'm ready to pull the
Yeah.
needle off.
Yeah, and then you close it like that. Yeah. Where did the mic go? Is that good?
I'm going to grasp that needle. Now I'm going to gather
I'm gonna grab my mic here. Oh, are y'all good?
various gathering techniques
Okay.
that you use.
All right.
And you want to leave yourself a fair amount of suture with which to complete
I need to get through one more time. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
tends to have some
There we go.
so a simple square head oftentimes does not suffice. And so I'm going to do a surgeon's throw.
I can give her some
Okay,
close
okay, okay.
Followed by a simple throw. Constructing a surgeon's knot. Completing the simple interrupted suture pattern. Now you could then put additional throws on top of your surgeon's knot. So this would be a surgeon's knot
You did it? Let me see.
followed by 2 additional throws.
Let's see.
And once I've cut
Okay.
Oh man, that's actually pretty good. Yeah.
Okay. Like I thought they continue with the same one, but you have to cut it after each one.
So you can actually keep going down from there.
But this is like a V.
Yeah.
They just keep being V's.
So there's like different ways to do after that. Just for today, they just would want you to learn how to throw it and get comfortable with it. You can do that though.
Okay.
But good job. You did good. I would give you a scholarship. Yes.
Do you like get accepted into medical school and then apply
No.
for the program, or do you guys like match us with medical school?
Now, you apply for the scholarship right when you start applying for medical school. You would apply. You get selected for the scholarship before you get into medical school.
What if like?
And if
but,
you
like,
don't,
are you guaranteed to get into medical school?
no. So what I will tell you is,
So like, is it harder applying as like a regular,
no.
student, or like applying for the?
No. So as soon as you start applying for medical school, you'll apply for the scholarship. You'll get the scholarship before you get into medical school. Our application cycle opens every October. Most students don't get LOAs unless you pay for early decision, February, January-ish, right? So I will tell you that our students that go to interviews and they tell these schools like, hey, I've also been accepted to the Army for the HPSP scholarship, because they know what it is, it does kind of help because it's guaranteed money. Like it's government money. It's gonna, and they never have to worry about, which they don't anyway, because you do, financial aid rather, but our students are a little bit more happier because the stipend, you can live off the stipend, and then they give you $20,000. So you ain't got to take out the extra like living loan money. You ain't got to do that. Because I don't know if you ever heard of compound interest.
It adds up.
Yes. So we also recruit direct physicians as well, right? And I meet them all the time, and they're like, yeah, man, like my student loans is like $600,000, and they have been a doctor for a couple of years because of interest. And we pay for that too. So we pay our direct student loan repayment. About done? About done? Yeah. no problem.
How do you continue from here? Like, how do you keep doing
Well,
that?
so that would be the advanced portion of this, but you would just keep going down, like just keep going. So you'll loop through there.
Oh,
Then,
loop in through here?
yeah, you will. Well, you not a certain way though. I would have to show you that. That's a whole nother class. It's called continuous simple. But you basically you would go down like a baseball stitch, and then at the end is we teach you how to cut it again, if that makes sense.
Okay.
So you would use that as an anchor, and you would just go down and then we would cut
Oh,
it again.
like through, okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Followed by a simple throw, constructing a surgeon's knot, completing the simple interrupted suture pattern. Now you could then put additional throws on top of your surgeon's knot. So this would be the surgeon's knot, followed by 2 additional throws. And once I cut these ends, I've constructed a simple interrupted suture tied with surgeon's knot to 2 additional rows.
Hey, team, hey, we gotta wrap it up because you guys got another block of instruction. So go ahead and finish and cut it off. Yeah, we're gonna bring the sharps around and we're gonna collect that from you. But do us a favor and cut the needle off. We're gonna bring the sharps around and we're gonna collect the instruments. And then you guys will do your next block of instruction. Thank you guys. Thank you. Hey, and please remember today, right? From today, if you don't take nothing away from today, I want you to remember, the U.S. Army is better. Remember that.